Does God answer all prayers? Now that's a question that gets asked in moments of frustration, moments of doubt, and moments of disappointment. You see, many of us have grown up believing that all we have to do is ask, and God will give us whatever we want. But is that really how prayer works? Does God answer every single prayer we pray, or are there times when His answer is a firm and resounding no? Let me take you back to the Garden of Gethsemane. Here we find Jesus, God in the flesh, praying, sweating drops of blood, and crying out to the Father. In Matthew chapter 26, verse 39, Jesus says, "My Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as you will." This is the Son of God asking to be spared from the suffering of the cross. Yet, what was the Father's answer? No. Why? Because the will of God was for Jesus to endure the cross, to bear the sins of the world, and to provide salvation for you and me. That prayer wasn't answered in the way we might expect, because it wasn't aligned with the greater purpose of God. And let's not forget about the Apostle Paul. This man who wrote a large portion of the New Testament and spread the gospel across the Roman Empire had his own struggles. In 2 Corinthians 12, verse 7-9, Paul talks about a thorn in the flesh, a persistent problem that tormented him. He pleaded with the Lord 3 times to remove it. But what was God's answer? No. Instead, the Lord said, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." God didn't remove the thorn because He had a greater purpose, to demonstrate His strength through Paul's weakness. So, does God answer all prayers? Yes, but not always in the way we expect. Sometimes His answer is yes, sometimes it's wait, and sometimes it's no, and His no is always for a reason. James 4, verse 3 gives us another insight. "You ask and do not receive because you ask with wrong motives, that you may spend it on your pleasures." Sometimes our prayers are self-centered. We're asking for things that will satisfy our flesh, not things that will glorify God. And God, in His wisdom, won't grant those requests because they are not in line with His will for our lives. Here's the key. God always answers prayer, but He does so according to His will and His purposes, not ours. He sees the bigger picture, and sometimes His no is the most loving answer He can give. Now don't get me wrong. God hears every prayer. He is a loving Father who delights in the prayers of His children. But just like any good father, He doesn't give us everything we ask for, because He knows what's best for us, and His plans are higher than ours. So does God answer all prayers? Absolutely. But when the answer is no, it's because He has something better, something greater, something more aligned with His will and for His glory. Trust in His sovereignty, because He is faithful even when the answer isn't what we hoped for. Congratulations if you made it to this point. Do us a favor by hitting the follow button. And don't forget to share this video to help spread the gospel. God bless you.